voting to leave or are you voting to remain?
Well, I'm still 50-50, but I'm considering leaving because of the fact that, well, for me, it affects me as an individual. As a pharmacist, our wages are going down, and that's how it affects me. And for that, that's the main point. Apart from that, there's a lot of crime coming into the country, stuff like that. And I would like to see that reduced. But then I can see the arguments to stay in the EU as well, like the whole strengthening of the economy. But then Britain's a country that's been great by itself for a number of years. Like it's had its colonies from the past and stuff. So if they could do it then, why can't they do it now? It's one of those. The economy should be able to remain strong.
Being part of the EU means that if there are jobs in another EU country, then we can go and get those jobs and live there without any barriers at the moment. But if we were to leave, then those barriers would come up and they would hurt us, and they would hurt our industries as well, because there would be tariffs on the goods that were sold over there. So from an economic point of view, I think it's a lot better. From a personal point of view, I think it's a lot better. I think it makes things a lot cheaper. Goods that come from Europe are cheaper for us to buy because of the tariffs being lower.
Voting to remain because obviously more jobs, more good wages for us, and I want to get paid good for my job, so why not?
I'm not sure yet. I was thinking about it because people are debating about it, like if it's good to leave or good not. It's good to stay in.
Yeah.
Because there's good points to stay and good points to leave as well.
I remain.
And why is that?
I think just good for Britain, for the economy, and for moving for goods. So that's why I think we should stay in.
Stay in, probably.
And why would that be?
Because I think everything's fine how it is now.
By staying in the EU, we're actually a stronger nation, and if we leave, then there's lots of things that can go wrong in terms of in terms of debts and all that stuff. So I think, in terms of for my sort of future well-being and for my also family, I think it's better to stay in the EU.
I think I'll be voting to remain. I just think it's better for all of us in the long run, to be honest.
Okay, can you expand on that? How will it be better in the long run for the future generations? What's your opinion?
I just think for the trade and everything as well. If we leave it, I think it's just everything's just going to go all over the place in terms of trade. We've got free trade within the EU. Once we leave, I just think it's going to be all over the place.
I don't know yet, because I need to do more research on it.
Voting in, I think there's so many perks that we have already, being in the EU already. So. Stuff like travel, we don't getting visas to go abroad and stuff like that. So I think it's too much of a risk financially to sort of leave as well. So we don't know how we're going to get our trading after we leave. With the talk about Russia and China, but at the moment, the EU, the market is the biggest in the world. So I think it's a safer option to stay in.
I am worried about the question of human rights, obviously, because we won't have a European Court of Human Rights. I don't know how that's going to affect people who have come here to seek asylum, or seek political asylum from other European countries. And if perhaps they end up in Europe somehow, I don't know how safe they're going to be.
The Leave campaign is arguing that UK currently has no major trade with India or China, which is understandable. But 44% of its exports go to countries in the EU, so trade would be affected in a negative way as well.
Yeah, it probably would be. I do understand that big businesses would be leaving the UK to be moving their headquarters to Europe. That's something that obviously Britain's got to incentivise for big businesses, and that's for the economists to work out, I guess. But I personally do believe it is doable. It's just whether or not we are willing to make the effort there. It's all about compromise, isn't it?
You mentioned the future generations. How would any decision affect them?
Well, us leaving the EU means less jobs, no good pay, so affecting them, putting more pressure on them to do less well, just get into more crime and stuff, so the crime rates are looking to go higher in the UK.
If Britain does leave, How will that affect the country? Can it survive?
Yes, it can survive because we would have our democracy back. Because at the moment, anything can be overruled by the EU courts because they're at the top. Even though Parliament's here is supposed to be sovereign, it's not. So we have a democracy, but I'm not too sure if that's a good thing with the government we have right now.